Hey, you need to be a little bit more enthusiastic over there, Jake.
Meanie instead of Jakey. Is that better?
Yeah, that's actually spot on. That's perfect.
Yes, while Nando is still vacationing in the middle of the season, the Athletic Fantasy Cheat Sheet brought to you by Jock Market. And look, you got the point down without even having to look. Oh, Chris has got it too. Chris Meany at Chris Meany. Make sure you're following him at what you tell everybody. I made you do it last time. You can do it again.
Yeah, at Chris Meany. That's where you can catch all of my work over at FTN. I'm usually tweeting all the shows, Mean Streets, and FTN Fabcast with Matthew Davis. We dive deep into the deepest waiver wire pickups, Jake, you could even think of. I'm pretty sure we talked about Trent Taylor this week.
Trent Taylor, how about Kadarrell Hodge? You going that deep?
Not that deep, but potential option this week for some people, I'd say.
You said as deep could be, so there you go.
Yeah, you're right. I lied.
You did lie.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into Thursday night because we're doing this, so people will still be able to watch, and we'll get to some of your questions as always. Oh, by the way, if you're not part of the Athletic, you can still go and join for $1 to sign up, so make sure you're doing that. But Chris, with tonight's game, here's the easy question, and I think this is the easiest way to put it. Are you starting any 49ers? Like that's your blanket question. Are you starting any 49ers?
I'm starting Hasty in the league, but I don't really have much of a choice. Like I have Miles Sanders.
Do you think he's the better play than Jock McKinnon?
I do. Yeah, I think he is. I feel like McKinnon will be involved this week, catching some balls out of the backfield. He's been obviously pretty quiet over the past few weeks, dead legs, but they're running out of passing options in San Fran. I just think that Hasty, he probably gets 12 carries at least. Likely gets the goal line work. Maybe he can fall in the end zone like last week. It wasn't great last week. What was he, 12 for 29 or something ridiculous like that? But he had the touchdown. He ends up with double-digit fantasy points. So that's the one guy I would start. I know there's some people out there that play, you have to start 2 tight ends. So Ross Dwelly is another guy that maybe I would play, but that's basically
Jordan Reed's going to be activated, it sounds like.
I know. I trust him more than Reed, which is maybe weird to say. And Reed early on in the season was getting involved. I had a couple of touchdowns with what was he just playing not even half of the snaps. So even if he's on a pitch count, he can be productive. But I think I feel a little bit more confident in Dwelly. But I'll be honest, like it's just really hasty.
All right.
Not even in Mullins and 2 quarterback leagues. I don't know if I can go there.
I don't think anybody can go there. But I think you can honestly, at this point, like would you say the top 2 pass catchers are Dwelly and Reed, or you throw Richie James is out down too. So Trent Taylor, Kevin White, or is Richie James going to play tonight? I don't even know.
You can't get involved with any of it. There's way too many questions. We can't even form the question because there's so many questions inside the question that you're going to ask. It's just is Kevin White finally going to show up? Is Jair Alexander going to be on? Like it's just I wouldn't start any of these.
Jair Alexander might just take the night off.
He's going to take the night off. Yeah, you take the night off and just continue to pad those stats.
Like it just stands in place. Yeah, I'm doing a good enough job anyways. All right. So on the flip side, now we'll know before game time, but Aaron Jones is the easy one. If Aaron Jones plays, you just fire him up because the Packers have been so conservative with their injuries. If they do activate him, it's just but let's say Aaron Jones is out. Where would you rank Dexter Williams? Or would you go Tyler Ervin or over Dexter Williams?
I would go Dexter Williams over Tyler Ervin. I think if you're in a full point PPR setting, maybe, if you're looking at a flex play here, it's a lot closer. I think that Dexter Williams is going to lead the way in carries, and I think he's probably going to be the goal line back there. I don't know. I feel
maybe.
Yeah, maybe, right? I kind of view him as when you and I talked on Tuesday about DJ Dallas, it wasn't great. It wasn't efficient, but he's in a good offense. And he had a couple of red zone opportunities that he converted into touchdowns. I kind of view it like that. I have him in the mid 30s right now, Jake, if there's no Aaron Jones. And I think Ervin is just he's a big risk. He could come away with a few catches, but I just don't want to go down that. I'd rather lose playing, Jordan Howard.
Devontae Adams over under 13.5 targets.
Yeah, over.
Seriously? No, I'm being serious.
I'm being serious too. Over. Okay. Yeah, 100%.
Here's a question a lot of people are asking because he's on the plane. Or I guess they've already landed by now. If Allen Lazard is active tonight, do you play him? Do you risk it?
I don't think that I would. But knowing the Packers and what they've done over the course of this season, and I think you alluded to it on Tuesday, is they held Devontae Adams out. He took to social media. Nobody knows my body better than anybody else. And he could have played. They held him back, and now he's been balling out. Same thing with Jones. I'm sure they feel the same thing with Allen Lazard. If he isn't near 100%, they're not going to risk playing him. They need him for the playoff push. So I I don't think I would play him though. I don't think I could go there. I would play Antonio Brown or maybe Amari Cooper over him.
Okay. Yeah. So there we go. There we asked your question before we answered your question before you even asked it with the Lazard playing tonight.
Yeah.
Here's one for you, Chris. And depending on when people might be watching this after the fact, Matt Breida, who by the way, I blew my remaining fab in a lot of leagues.
Me too.
And sounds like he might not play. We still have Friday's practice. So again, depending if you're watching this back on Friday or Saturday, you might have, let's say there is no Breida. Jordan Howard, I feel like we have to do it. Does he get into the RB2? Let's say you knew tonight there was no Aaron Jones and you knew tonight there was no Matt Breida. Would you go Dexter Williams or would you go Jordan Howard?
Yes, I think I would go Howard. I know it's probably painful to hear, but again, another guy that's probably going to get the goal line work. They're probably going to, it's going to be a high tempo game. I know he's not going to catch a lot of passes, but it's just another guy that probably, it's like Frank Gore, right? You put him in and you just hope he gets double-digit fantasy points.
By the way, do you want to ask me tonight's lottery numbers? Because we just answered another question before the question even got asked, because GT Ben said, is Dexter Williams a Jordan Howard type running back? We're getting the answers before you can even ask them. That's how good we are.
Yeah, and these are the questions that people want to know. They're super tough. I think that I would just wait it out. It's just too bad if, this is GT's only spot. Like, those are the only two options. But I don't think Breida's going to play. Do you? I mean, he hasn't been able to get on the field. I'm with you. I blew a lot of my fab on him when it seems like I didn't even need to in some spots, because that Gaskin injury kind of went under the radar. There were a couple people in my leagues that were in tune and they were like, wait, why are people, Chris, why did you spend over $30 on Matt Breida? It's like, and now he's just going to be in my bench.
So as a sidebar, this is actually why I like Wednesday afternoon waivers. Not because we don't get a lot of injury news until Wednesday. Like, exactly. So the Tuesday night, I get it. You want to try and set your lineup. But the thing is if you do it Wednesday afternoon, you still have a full 24 hours plus until Thursday night football. I understand it, but that's why, because, that's all.
I agree. I've been pushing that for years.
Chris, not you, Chris Colicchio says the return of the throwback.
That's
just
right.
No Brad. But I did want to answer his question. Chark, Howard, Breida, or John Brown in the flex, because that's another question a lot of people have this week is Jake Luton at quarterback. We have no idea what to expect from the Jaguars receivers. So do you just go with whichever Dolphins running back plays? I think that at least in my opinion, that's the direction I would go. Unless they both play, then Breida becomes a little bit more dicey, but I would still go Breida.
Yeah, I would still go Breida too. Yeah, I usually side. I think you agree. And I usually side with the running back. And, when you get those flex questions, it's just those kind of guaranteed touches. I don't know what to expect from Luton. Like, I have no idea. I know he's a guy that just folded under pressure. And I know Chark has been very disappointing. And I don't know, the matchup seems okay, but I still don't. I don't think I would.
Well, my concern with Luton is deep ball is inaccurate. And that's DJ Chark, not Keelan Cole and Chenault. But again, we've seen quarterbacks, the new quarterback coming in, who knows who he has the rapport with or who even likes them. I mean, he might target Chark 15 times just because.
I hope so.
So I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to go up Olivia. By the way, Olivia is helping us out again. Thank you, Olivia. Up to Ryan Green. Should I play Chark or JD McKissick? Because McKissick in a PPR has been very consistent. But this kind of feels to me like the easy answer. Do you want floor or ceiling, right?
Yeah, I would go Chark there. I'm taking Chark. Yeah,
you're going Chark.
Yeah, I would take the ceiling in Chark. It was a Gibson week last time. They controlled the game. They're playing against your Giants, right?
My Giants. Not until people are fired. You know that.
I saw Daniel Jones's record. He's 3-0 against Washington, 1-17 against everybody else.
Yeah, because they ruin their draft pick every single time they play Washington. Don't be surprised if they get their second win and fall further back into the draft.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, it seems like JD McKissick is that back that's on when they're down in games, because Gibson didn't get one catch last time and they controlled that game against Dallas. Right. But taking the upside in Chark.
Same game. I saw the question. You don't have to find it if you can't find it, Olivia. But the concerns of Terry McLaurin versus Bradbury, who's been shutting everybody down. I mentioned this on the podcast today. I said Bradbury actually did even keep Mike Evans in check. There's no defending that touchdown pass. Like, I don't care who you are. Whoa. There's not. That's Tom Brady to Mike Evans. So Bradbury did keep him in check, though McLaurin still had, I think it was 12 targets, but he had 7 for 74, 73. Some of that came without Bradbury and McLaurin. I don't think we're concerned with McLaurin because of the volume, right?
No, he's looking at some of the free tools over at FTN, the air yards. He has 49% of his team's air yards. It's number one in all of football. He's just getting a ton. 7 targets is the fewest he's had looking now. Double-digit targets in 4 games this year. I'm playing him.
All right, let's go to how about Chris Gallagher? What a weird question to ask. And so, well, yes, weird because nobody would expect it at this time, but it's still weird because you don't bench Deshaun Watson, in my opinion. I know Justin Herbert's been hot, but also this is one of the best matchups this week, Chris. And what happened the last time? Oh, just 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against Jacksonville. You have to start Watson, right?
Yeah, 100%. And he's running again, too. His past 3 games, I think he's racked up nearly 90 rushing yards. Yeah, Jacksonville, he just checks all those boxes. I was looking at DFS plays, and it's top 5 passing yards allowed, 40-yard plays, touchdowns, fantasy points, pass DVOA. It's like Jackson. In that situation, Chris should probably trade Herbert. I mean, I know it's nice to have 2 quarterbacks heading into the playoffs, but I would just try to trade one of those guys and get better balance.
Rappaport, Jordan Reed activated while we're doing this, so there you go. We have that.
Well, so are you gonna rank Reed ahead of then?
Ahead of Dwelly? Yeah. Look, it's Deontay Johnson comparison. 100%. He's the best play. Yeah. The risk is, does he make it through the game? I mean, we know that at this point. Mm-hmm. How about, I'm going to try and find some more questions. Let's go up to Dale Bourne. I don't care about your last name. Sorry, Dale. In a tough spot in your dynasty, Burrow's on a bye. Best options, Kyle Allen or Luton. Where are you going, Chris?
Wow. I think I would go with Kyle Allen. Giants defense has been okay, as you know. Like Giants
defense has actually been pretty good.
Yeah, they've been pretty good as right. I don't know. I've got to take Kyle Allen there. So, McLaurin or Logan Thomas and find the end zone. That's tough.
Okay. How about, let's go to Johnny P07. Antonio Brown, Swift, or Zeke in the flex. Crazy how Zeke is in this question. It really is. But I wanted to get to this one because the Antonio Brown part is in here. So there's 2 questions here, Chris. Answer who you would start. And then second, if you have Antonio Brown, you kind of want to just play him, right?
I think so. Yeah. Lattimore has really always had the better of Mike Evans. And when we saw Brady and Brown in their one game, he just looked his way a ton. I know it was against the Dolphins. I think he caught the touchdown. So
I was with the Patriots.
I think he's a low end wide receiver 3, and we know what kind of ceiling he has. I in this question here, I want to say Swift, but honestly, I'll probably just go Zeke. I know it's crazy, but there's not a lot of running backs that are going to touch the ball 17 times. And I just think that
we'll swap this out. Antonio Brown, Swift, or David Montgomery. That's essentially who Zeke has become. So
yeah, and
you're still going with the volume.
Better games too. So
yeah,
I'm going Zeke there. You just hope he catches a couple passes. They're going to be down in the game. The Steelers are what? Last time I checked, 14-point favorites.
Actually, I'm firing up Michael Gallup in some DFS tournaments just because everybody's so far off the Cowboys that I would be surprised if the ownership across the board is like combined 3%. A few more before we get out of here. Let's see. How about Herbert or Brady? Actually, Herbert or Brady this week and Herbert or Brady rest of season, Chris?
I think Brady rest of season because the schedule is amazing. You are going to have that week 13 bye, but this...
I tweeted that out earlier.
What's that?
I tweeted that out earlier. Weeks 14, 15, and 16. He's got the second best. You actually know who has number 1? Herbert.
For
quarterbacks.
Yeah. And even Baker has a good one too. And I'm not crazy about him, but I just want to toss him out in super flex leagues. But
how about Nick Foles? He's got a really good one too.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I was looking at potential buy lows and Landry and Allen. You probably can't get Robinson. You probably can't get them, but I mean, who knows? Their schedule is so nice. I would go Brady. Yeah, I would go Brady against the Saints.
We only got time for a few more. By the way, people, check out Jock Market, but also while you're checking them out this weekend, because you can do these kind of values and get in-game play and return on your money there. But go sign up for the $1 because I answer all these questions in the rankings. 1,000 a week, I'm answering them. So if you haven't signed up, it's $1 to bug me. So there you go. Because we're not going to get to all these. They're piling in here, and we only have like 2 more minutes because we also have a meeting today. Sorry, Chris. I can't spend too much time with you. But so don't put it up, Olivia. I'm letting you know right now. Don't put it up. But I'm letting you person know, Chris Picon, whatever it is, you're banned. So that's what you get for asking a kicker question. Let's continue.
So, I would answer that one too.
Yeah. Let's see. Zeke has a hamstring. Yeah, we know Zeke has a hamstring injury. Go pick up Pollard anywhere possible, just in case. Not that we expect a ton more, but how about Swift or Fournette? I feel like Fournette is so scared. That's Paul right there. Yeah. Swift or Fournette. I feel I can't do the Buccaneers backfield. I just can't.
Yeah, I'll lean Swift there too, but I think it is Fournette's backfield, not just because Ronald Jones fumbled, but just because, again, they brought him in, they signed him that contract. Jones had 3 solid games in a row, and then Fournette just took over. I think he's a short yardage back, goal line guy, and he seems to be the pass catching back too, but I'll go Swift there in that spot.
So I'm not going to put this because there's a couple people asking about him. Jono, are you completely off on Jono? I am because I said he's going to be the third option when everybody's healthy, and everybody's like, "Oh, there's no way, he's so good."
It's so nice to see Corey Davis ball out, and I know that you have a smile on your face when you see it too. And you and I talked about Corey Davis so much before working together, and I just like to see it, man. He's had 69 yards or a touchdown in every game. He's got more catches and more yards, at least the same amount of catches as AJ Brown, but more yards. Targets per game is basically right there too. Yeah, I'm not off of Johnny because the tight end position is awful, but I'm not starting him. I'll say he's not a top 10 tight end anymore.
One more question. You tell me where to stop, and this person gets to. You can't see my finger, but I'm doing this. You tell me where to stop, Chris.
Stop.
Let's see.
Kicker question.
No, it's not. I'm trying to. Well, hold on. I'm going to go down one more because we already answered the question. Reed or Ebron? We already covered Reed. If you want to go, Ebron's the safe play. Reed is more upside. We covered that. Mm-hmm. So last one, Michael Murray. Should Michael Thomas be on the trade block? Any risk about him coming back? Not in sync. I want your opinion, Chris, because I'm on the side. I'm buying Michael Thomas everywhere I can before he plays a game because he's still top 5, Michael Thomas, and he seems to have lost that luster because of what's been going on.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Absolutely, 100%. FTN subs must be sick of me saying to buy Michael Thomas every single week. It's like, hey, I bought Michael Thomas in week 3. He still hasn't played yet. What? Well, hopefully you have him for fantasy football playoff time. He's got the Falcons twice, I think week 13 and maybe 14 or 15. It wouldn't be 14. There's a couple games in between, but you're going to get the Falcons twice down the stretch. Is huge.
By the way, nicest expert, Jake or Jamie. That's not even true because the person that Jimmy touchdown, at least Jake isn't cranky today. Chris knows I'm cranky every day, so that's the truth. Like, I don't know what they're thinking, but Chris, tell them again at Chris Meany. Tell them where to find you guys before we get out of here. By the way, thanks to Jock Market before Chris leaves.
Yes, thanks to Jock Market. At Chris Meany is where you can see all my work, FTN, writing trade articles, and my rankings can be found on there, answering questions all the time. So don't be afraid to hit me up. Always a pleasure, Jake.
Yeah, and go check out The Athletic, the fantasy cheat sheet for you guys. $1 to sign up, and then you can get all these questions we didn't get to. You can just drop into the rankings column. And we'll be back on Tuesday after Nando's off of his bye week, whatever that's all about. Bye, everybody.
Bye.